Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, you guys, peep game. Today is March 8th. Well, I just got through doing a video celebrating the 30th anniversary of New Jack City. Well, today is also the anniversary of another historic moment, this time in sports, aka boxing. Today marks the 50th anniversary of the historic fight between Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, billed as Fight of the Century. Muhammad Ali was 31 at the time. Joe Frazier was 26. Both men were undefeated and guaranteed $2 million at the time, which would be around 16 million today based off inflation and blah, 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 blah. Now, leading up to the fight, there was a lot of animosity. I didn't want to find some of the old stuff, the pictures of what Muhammad Ali was doing, but there was a lot of animosity leading up to this fight. And the funny part about it is a lot of different things happened. You know, Frank Lucas went to this fight and basically he wore this mink coat and basically he had better seats than a lot of the celebrities. And the funny part about it is, the guy that caught him in the movie American Gangster basically he racially profiled him. They didn't want to really say what it was. They just said, how's this guy? Who is this guy? They got a fur coat on and he got better seats than Frank Sinatra and all this. So, at the end of the day, let's just keep it a buck. He racially profiled him because he saw a black man that was sitting in the front row that had a fur coat on, and that brought a lot of attention to him. And that's basically how they got on him and eventually ended up apprehending him. But nevertheless, that's neither here or there. But a lot of things came out of that fight. But like I said, every celebrity and a mama was there that you could think of at the time who was big at the time. Anybody you could think of more than likely was at that fight. It was in New York City, the big lights and all that stuff, so it was a historic moment. This fight kind of like opened up the door, which would lead to what you would call super fights. This is what you would call the first big super fight. This is kind of like what opened the door for pay-per-view. I think back then they had something called closed circuit TV, and you can go to different places and see this. So you can go to, I guess, a theater or something and watch the movie and stuff. I mean, go to a movie theater and watch this fight. So, people found ways to see it, you know. So, at the time, like I said, leading up to the fight, there was a lot of tension. Keep in mind, Muhammad Ali had serious money issues going on. We can go back and forth on whether he was giving all this money to the Nation of Islam. That is the rumor. People in the Nation of Islam, in particularly Farrakhan, said that's not really true. So that's neither here or there. But Muhammad Ali was having some serious money issues. Keep in mind, Muhammad Ali was champion. He was stripped of his title when he refused to join the military. And basically he had to do what he had to do, to make ends meet. It took him years to get his license the box, and he just went through a lot of different things. So therefore, you had Joe Frazier, this fight out of Philadelphia, and it's kind of funny what they do now is what they did in this fight is relevant to what they do now, how they play black people up against each other. For some reason, Joe Frazier had became, the the American hero. A lot of white supremacists was backing Joe Frazier. And then you had what you would call, people like me supporting Ali. And, Ali said a lot of hurtful things to Joe Frazier that he really didn't get over. He sort of like went to his grave despising Muhammad Ali. He felt Muhammad Ali never properly apologized. Now they're saying Muhammad Ali did apologize, but Muhammad Ali went on to eventually, develop Parkinson's disease, and Muhammad Ali basically suffered for a long time until, he died a few years ago, I think in 2016, 2017. Muhammad Ali's he's been gone for a while. He's been gone for a few years. But nevertheless, Joe Frazier, he's been gone. He's been gone longer than Ali. He passed of cancer. Both men went on to become Hall of Fame fighters. But like I said, the build up for this fight, it was a lot of animosity. Like I said, Muhammad Ali, to me, in my own personal opinion, and people get mad at me when I bring this up, but ask me, do I give a fuck about what people think? Hey, like I said, I'm going to always voice my opinion, whether you like it or not. I know they was trying to promote the fight, but Muhammad Ali, Jesus, he just went overkill with, like I said, Muhammad Ali was going on these white media outlets calling him Uncle Tom and, just saying he was ugly, calling him a gorilla, making fun of him. And this went on for a while, all the way to Joe Frazier's kids. They were being teased in school. Kids were saying, your father is an ugly black gorilla. So, Muhammad Ali said a lot of hurtful things. And keep in mind, Joe Frazier gave Muhammad Ali some money. And Joe Frazier was taken back when Muhammad Ali was just throwing all these insults at him. And, Muhammad Ali said, allegedly before the fight started, he said, wow, we getting $2 million. And, Joe Frazier, he was angry. He was there to kick Muhammad Ali's ass. He wanted to hurt Muhammad Ali. So it's kind of funny when you think about it. He really wanted to hurt Muhammad Ali. He wanted to knock Muhammad Ali out. Now keep in mind, this fight was 15 rounds. Back then you used to fight 15 rounds instead of 12. But due to certain circumstances, they got rid of 15 round fights. They lowered them down to 12. And it was a great fight. A great fight. Muhammad Ali had his fast hands, his combination, his peppering, blistering jab. And Joe Frazier had a game plan to get up under Muhammad Ali, fight him close, get under that jab. And he had success doing it. Bobbing and weaving on the inside, Like I said, Muhammad Ali wasn't a very good inside fighter. He would use his range and he would throw combinations and, he would just keep you off of him like that. He wasn't a strong fighter on the inside. He would rarely go to the body, But Joe Frazier had a good game plan and they went at it for 15 rounds. Joe Frazier, he floored Muhammad Ali in the 15th round and he won a unanimous decision, which led to 2 more fights in which Muhammad Ali would go on to win the next 2 fights. But after they was done fighting, they would continue to feud with each other. Like I said, Joe Frazier really took it personal what Muhammad Ali said about him. And he just never could get over it. And that's, like I said, it lasted for years. They made specials talking about this grudge that Joe Frazier had against Muhammad Ali. And they played his voicemail, I guess, when you call him. And he said this is the dude that damaged Muhammad Ali because Muhammad Ali, like I said, he went on to develop Parkinson's disease because Muhammad Ali just fought way too long. He fought way too long. Muhammad Ali should have stopped fighting after the Ernie Shavers fight. Joe Frazier likes to take credit for it, what happened to Muhammad Ali, but it was accumulation of a lot of fights and taking a lot of punches. He was floored by Ernie Shavers. He was hurt really bad by, he got beat up real bad by Larry Holmes. So, then he got beat up by Trevor Berbick. He just took a lot of punishment in a lot of fights. And that's, like I said, keep in mind, people were fighting 15-round fights back then. So, it, it just went on to just, it got to the point to where it was sad to see Muhammad Ali, like, his health deteriorating over the years. You could start to see it around like the mid 80s. He couldn't, he just couldn't talk very good anymore. And then by like 1996 at the Olympics, when he lit the torch and he had the Parkinson's disease, it was just really bad. So, it didn't end well for neither one of these guys. And that's the unfortunate part. They never became friends afterwards. After the third fight, after the grueling, hard-fought third fight, Joe Frazier corner called a halt to the fight. And the funny part about it is Muhammad Ali was about to quit. and Team Frazier beat him to the punch. So that was crazy. And something happened in the locker room where Joe Frazier, one of his kids, came in the locker room to look at Muhammad Ali. And Muhammad Ali said, tell your father I'm sorry. And one of Joe Frazier's kids said, as he went back to Joe Frazier's locker room, after he was recovering, trying to recover, he had to go to the hospital because, like I said, it was a grueling fight. They beat the hell out of each other. And one of Joe Frazier's sons said, Muhammad Ali says he apologizes. And Joe Frazier was like, you tell him that I said to come in here and say it to me. And it just went on from there. Like I said, Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, they never really had closure, because for them to have an actual conversation, Muhammad Ali was really in bad shape. It was a surprise that Muhammad Ali lasted as long as he did. So, like I said, one part of history, something great happened, a monumental fight. But then on the other side of history, it led to a ugly, nasty feud, which neither one benefited from. If only they could have found some common ground or tried to talk earlier. But from what people said, Joe Frazier refused to talk to Muhammad Ali. He wanted Muhammad Ali to publicly apologize. And he felt Muhammad Ali should have did it at the post-fight press conference. He felt that Muhammad Ali was a coward. So yeah, that's unfortunate what happened. But, despite what happened after the fight, the actual fight itself is a classic. It's a classic. You can find it pretty much on YouTube. Just type up Ali Frazier. One is like 20 different versions of it. So it's really easy to look at. So, thank you very much. It's your boy Town Biz. I'm out.